And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to WrestlePurists Worldwide. I'm your host, Ibu of WrestlePurists, better known to many of you guys as Back at Hangman, and we're back at it for a stacked and exciting and fun show ahead because today is for some of our members, a celebratory evening, an evening where we will be talking about Zack Sabre Jr., your new G1 Climax winner, the second ever Gaijin in tournament history to win. We'll be talking about that.
Damn right.
And
Let's go.
so much more. It's WrestlePurists Worldwide. It's Monday. We're at it to talk about all kinds of topics. So, guys, make sure to like the video, comment, send us super chats, ask us whatever questions you may have. Who knows? Maybe one of your questions will lead to some information being released. So, do that. Send the super chats. Ask us anything. Talk about anything. Tonight's your show. You know what I mean? Tonight's your show. We go where you guys go. It's for the people. You guys are going to drive, and we're here to hang out and in some cases celebrate. And in other cases, maybe make fun of some promotions. So I'm excited to get into WrestlePurists Worldwide, and I'm joined, of course, by Anna. Anna, who is back. Anna, who has been hyped all weekend. How are you feeling today, Anna?
I'm so happy today. I'm so excited. I went through so many emotions this past weekend with the whole G1 finals and everything that was happening. And now, it could not have been better. I'm so happy to get into it. I'm so excited to be back. And thank you, everyone that's asking about the fan. I still do not have a fan, but it's not as hot today, so I can be. Okay, don't worry. And worst case, I still have my trusty
just in case.
fan. But I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm happy for you. I don't know if I'm happy, but I'm happy for you. We'll get into it later. You know, I'll be the I'll be that guy. But we'll get into it shortly. Monty, Bossman, how you feeling today? You've been watching a lot of wrestling lately, haven't you?
Yeah, I always watch a lot of wrestling, but as you well know, I'm an avid professional wrestling watcher, reviewer, writer, critic. And many people are waiting to hear what I've got to say about it, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Ready to start. It's a big week, bro. All in week.
Yeah.
Wembley week. I'm still not decided if I'm going, which is probably not the best idea. I spoke to Ibu over the weekend about my internal struggles about whether I want to go or not. And but yeah, we'll talk about All In at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Whatever else has happened this weekend. And
we have a new match set for All In, Monty, that we'll get into, and another match that's been adjusted and has now a missing group of people that will be in the match. So we'll definitely talk about that. I want to just quickly point out, Monty, that you're in the place that I'm at sometimes. Anna, before a couple of the big AEW shows that I was like hesitant on going for, like I get this weird like pre-show laziness because I don't buy tickets. If I do, like in general, right, I would buy tickets late if I went, and for the last couple of AEW shows I didn't even pay to go, and so it was pretty much one of those things where just saying, it's one of those things.
It's the friend of the wrestlers over here.
Yeah,
just flexing on us like,
no, it's not even
for tickets.
It's just one of those ball is in my court type of situations.
And cool with the boys, don't have to apply for media. It's nasty business, people.
I remember last year when I was at Collision. I was at Collision last year in Newark, Monty, and AO called me FTR's ring rat. I was like, come on. Come on. I was like, what the fuck? You know? But
so real.
The bottom line is this. It's one of those game time decision things where I get this like pre-show laziness, right? I'm like, I don't want to go all the way out to, to Queens or whatever. And what I would do, Monty, when I felt guilty was I'd go to your Joe, and secretly I'm hoping you talk me into it, right? And that's what you did to me this weekend, because you hit me up and you were kind of like, I don't know about All In, man, And I could feel you. What you really want was like, give me a reason, like talk me into it, like amp me up, like you wanted me to
when you do it before every single show you go to, it feels performative, It feels performative. You tweet it, it's
it's funny.
The whole thing.
Every time I do it, I end up going ultimately, except for one time. One time I had the chance to go and I didn't go, and it was World's End 2023. And you know what? My instincts saved me because that show was whack. That show was fucking whack. That was the devil reveal and a bunch of other nonsense on that pay-per-view. I'm so glad it didn't go. Keith Lee didn't fucking no-showed the show, and it ended up being Dustin and Swerve. Yeah, I'm glad it didn't go to that one. But I'm excited to get it all in tonight, guys. Remember, make sure to like the video, comment, send super chats, so on and so forth, because tonight's going to be a party. Let's get right into them now, Monty, because so many have built up already. And I really want to be able to give you guys the right amount of time. You guys deserve the time for your support of WrestlePurists. And let's take it away right now.
Let's do it. Kale, 50 pesos. Dreadful realization that Triple H is going to drag this Liv versus Rhea stuff to Mania because the numbers and heat it's getting. They're going to feed EO to Olivia. Heartbroken.
There's no way. Like there's just no way. I'm gonna naively put my hand down right now and say this is gonna end in October. There's just no way this goes to Mania.
I don't. I think they wrap it up this year.
They wrap it up at Bad Blood.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would not be surprised.
It's an over feud, and like they're gonna do the mixed tag in Berlin to then hold off Rhea and Liv for presumably October. But what do you do after that? You know, to me, I think you do that, you let it run its course, and then maybe you bring back like Raquel to team with Liv or something, and they do tag division stuff. If you drag this to Mania, no one's gonna give a fuck by that point.
Austin Kinkle, $2. Appreciate you as always. I wonder if Paul has ever been in an Ibu space.
Anna, did you see the Triple H report this weekend about him scrolling that he apparently is very frequent on Twitter, and he scrolls it while Raw and SmackDown are airing?
That's not surprising. That's really not surprising.
Yeah,
I love that
really
he accidentally, I don't know if it was accidental or not, or if it was like a joke, that he liked the Insta post about Tony Khan. Like,
that wasn't accidental.
That was so funny. That was just him being like, yeah, bitch, and what about it, you know?
That's a crazy like, too, because it's like, the guy's talking shit about you, and you're like, LOL, you just like it. Like, that's like a really spooky like.
Yeah.
I once subtweeted an ex, and she just liked the tweet. You know how scary that is? Like, it's just like, like what the fuck?
He'd be scrolling.
Yeah.
He'd be scrolling. Anjan PN, $2. Appreciate you as always. Fed must go for Saraya to get one more over on AEW.
Anjan is referencing the Fightful report that just broke that Saraya may be done in AEW. It depends, but her deal looks like it's going to be expiring in September. AEW reserves the rights to extend her deal. And right now it looks like they're open to extending the relationship, but that's not official. It could end in September if both parties mutually agree to depart, but it could not. But the point is, it's expiring, and I'll turn the ball to you, Anna, because I know this is your favorite wrestler. What do you think about Saraya's deal expiring?
I mean, I think it's a great time to retire. You know, like she's done a lot. I think she should just go rest now. I think she
walk off
deserves
into the
that
sunset.
for sure. Yeah, she deserves that. Just at home with your shitty ass boyfriend, and it's good.
You don't want to see her. You don't want to see her and Mercedes Moné run it back for old time's sake, and just kind of.
It's gonna be bad. Like, I don't know. Sorry, Mercedes, she's great, but she's not a miracle worker. Like I don't know if there's anyone that can make that match be good, especially if it's like a singles match. So yeah, maybe they can do that before she leaves. I mean. But I wouldn't mind. I feel like she's done enough with her career. She can rest. She has not been doing anything in AEW for such a long time, So
yeah, I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest with you. I'm more so just amused by the fan base's reaction, and I'm seeing WWE fans who are just like, no, and then I'm seeing like AEW fans like, please leave. So I don't feel strongly about it.
NXT.
Oh my god, you're a sick fuck.
Walk with me here, little veteran around,
The thing is, Punk loves her, so I could see him going to Sean and be like, Saraya can really teach these girls something,
I mean, if she goes as a coach and then she's now wrestling, great.
She wouldn't be a coach. She'd be like an on-screen character, So
I don't watch NXT, so for me that's fine.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can just not watch that. We'll see what happens. My prediction is, my bold prediction. You guys won't like this. I think her and Tony shake hands and extend for like a year or two.
Yeah,
I also think so. Yeah.
I think there's a possibility she takes a little bit of a pay cut. Yeah, I could see her staying with AEW. I actually think that's probably the most likely scenario. To be honest,
could you imagine?
Sean already put in the report that there's already been discussions between the two sides. So I think they'll figure it out. You know,
she would like to stay. I can tell you that she would like to stay. So we'll see what happens. Could you imagine, Monty, if it's the end of NXT No Mercy and people are expecting Julia to make her big appearance after the main event? Roxanne Perez just beat whoever she's going to beat, whether it's Sol Ruka or Jada Parker, and she's just like, I'm at the top of this division. No one can beat me. The crowd is like, Julia, Julia, Julia. And then you just hear some fucking, what's the name of her boyfriend? What's that asshole's name?
Ronnie
Radke.
Ronnie something.
Yeah.
You just hear some like obnoxious Ronnie Radke song, just like I'm a generational woman, and she's like walks out. And I'm like, what? It's Paige, you know. So
they just put her in the ring with Julia and just like not give Julia any instructions. Just say like Julia, you just do you wrestle as you would wrestle in Japan. Have fun and just let's see what happens.
Do your thing.
The pile driver.
Just the shoot headbutts,
Table spot.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
That would be a science experiment for sure. All right. And Jan. Oh, Zack Sabre Jr. Oh, Zack Sabre Jr.
You know what really disturbs me about all this? I got to be honest with you. I got to be completely honest with you and transparent.
Okay.
British excitement and British enthusiasm really bothers me. like I see it and I see.
We don't care.
I should be happy for Monty and Charlie, my friends. I should be so happy for them, and I think I am. But then I just see them posting that fucking flag, that ugly flag, and I'm like,
Ibu, you're American. What are you talking about ugly flags?
Bro, come on.
Our flag sucks too.
Right now.
Our flags. Listen. Hey, hold on. You can't give it. The American flag sucks too, and American patriotism is super ass. Unless it's Olympic basketball, then it's allowed because dunking on the French is great. But I don't know. British happiness is so shit. It's like you guys don't even have sunlight.
Listen, you're just gonna have to deal with it, bro. Summer of Sabre. It's coming on. It came home. Us Brits, we went through a tough summer. We didn't do quite what we wanted to in the Olympics. We didn't really win anything spectacular. We didn't get.
What are you guys good at? Like,
really? We've got a pretty decent Olympic team for the size of the country. Obviously we're not investing and putting the billions and hundreds of millions of people through it like Team USA are and China and the real juggernauts of the Olympics. But even for our quite modest standards, I thought we didn't win anything good, man.
On a side note, did you pay attention to any sport during the Olympics? Because I will say, and don't make any weird narratives here. I got real into like women's beach volleyball. I thought it was just so exciting.
Anyway,
no,
stop. Anyway,
you can go to that one.
Let me carry on with my
sorry.
My British summer of ups and downs. So as I was saying, the Olympics didn't go quite as I wanted it to, and then before the Olympics, brother, the Euros. We went into it. Everyone was optimistic about England winning the Euros. But it was like a head in the clouds kind of thing. Like we wanted to win it, but we didn't actually think we could. Then we actually got to the final. It was like, oh shit, we could win this, and then hearts were broken there. We've had a long summer, bro. And we had our last roll of the dice here, bro. Anna, Zack Sabre Jr. Going into this G1, it's like he's the guy. He could be. He's there. Probably you would say he's been their best wrestler over the past year or so. He's really came into his own. He's really stepped up since these big departures from New Japan. And you think, what? If he won the G1, I don't think many people would have too many complaints about it right now. Maybe it is his year, but they're doing this big thing with the young guys like Yota Tsuji, etc., etc. You think maybe the one of them will probably win it, because they really want to go into this new era. So there's some optimism there, but no one's expecting Zack to definitely win it. There's people like Ibu on the timeline laughing at people at the mere suggestion that this wonderful British man can bring it home.
Monty, I will never forget you. We can watch the old podcast, okay? Since the beginning when the G1 started, I was here like, it's Zack Sabre Jr. He's gonna win it. And then you, Monty, you said, Anna, the white man is now winning. And I was like, you doubted it.
Would I say that white man's not winning? That's something I'd say. I mean, other than the way that it was delivered, it does. I don't know.
You know what I didn't bank on, guys? I didn't bank on like Naito like being so bad that the bookers was like, nah, bro, we got it. Because here's the thing: when he beat Naito, right? When he beat Naito, I was like, oh, so he's not winning the G1. He's gonna get his title shot at like Destruction, and that's what this is for. And in a weird turn of events I could not have foreseen, he is getting the match of Destruction, but he still won the G1. So I don't know. I'm happy for you guys.
You guys made me doubt it so much.
I feel
like since the beginning.
We gaslit you. I can't lie.
I feel like that was Marcus who said that.
Marcus doubted it. I doubted it.
I feel like that is something Marcus has said on a Dynamite review or something. That white man's not winning.
No, but someone said it to me, like, because we were on the episode and I was still being like, Sabre is gonna win, and you're like, and you both were, and no, he's not winning. It's Tsuji, like, because we were looking at the scoreboard.
I didn't have him to win. I didn't have him. I'm not saying I had him to win. I'm not saying it. You know, I did not have him to win at the start of this. I thought it would be Tsuji.
Yes. But you guys really, you made me believe that, like, you know, you made me believe like he's now winning. I was so down. I had already accepted my fate. I was like, okay, yes, Sushi's winning. It's fine. I also like him. But I couldn't even watch the final live because I was so stressed, you know, and I went through it in the Ospreay Okada G1 final. I went through it. I was watching that. I was like, that was so hard, you know, like you just see, like I said last week, Ospreay was pulling the moves of everyone who ever beat Okada, and then he still lost like a Rainmaker, you know. So I was just ready for that to happen again. I did not believe that Zack was gonna win, but I was rooting for it from the beginning because he's one of my favorites. I think he's been one of the best wrestlers in New Japan in years, but before maybe he was just like outshined because he had people like Ospreay and Okada and Kenny, you know, so he never got that position that he deserved to be in. I generally think he's one of the best in the world for such a long time now. So yeah, I'm just like super happy and super excited. I was at work when the G1 final was happening, and Ibu just texted me like, Zack won, and I thought he was joking. So I was like, Ibu, do not fuck with me right now. I will kill you. Like, this is no, you're joking with me. And then I went to my timeline and I actually saw the picture. I was like, wait. I was shaking so hard that I could not do my job for like 15 minutes. I just had to stand there, calming down. Yeah,
she sent me a voice note, and it was basically just like incoherent, like happy sounds. Like it's just, oh my god! I had the straightest face. I was just like, yeah, Zack won, and she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, you won. Yeah.
All right,
I'm so happy.
Skipping a few super chats ahead. Because we got off Matt Hennessy with the 60 massive appreciation. And he says, what do you expect Tony Khan to do with the Lucha Bros going off reports? Pentagon seems to be a free agent, and while Phoenix deals expires next month, do you think Tony will extend the deal? To me, I don't see the benefit of keeping someone hostage to be spiteful.
Well, for context, thank you, Matt, so much for the really generous super chat. We appreciate you guys when you send us this. But so he's referencing the Penta report from last week, and the general gist is Penta believes his deal is done. He thinks that he's a free agent. He's going to wait for Phoenix. Phoenix has another month to go, but that's if Tony doesn't add any injury time to it. Tony reserves the right to do so. It's unclear and unknown if he will. What do I think is going to happen? I think, Monty, that Tony will look to try to get Phoenix, maybe even Penta, to do some type of business on the way out. I think he will at least attempt to reach out and ask if they're willing to do this. And I think that they will, out of fear, acquiesce because they don't want any retaliatory efforts being made on Tony's end if they say no. So that's my prediction. My prediction is he's going to be like, hey, you want to come back to do this? Whatever it could be. Maybe it's Wembley. Maybe it's an all-out match that helps fill the card out. Maybe it's a TV thing where they do a job. But I think Tony's going to ask them both, even Penta, who's a free agent, and he's going to just ask them both, hey, can you come in and do this? And they'll probably say yes, probably, even though, you know, the AEW sources that spoke to Fightful believe that they will not do business. That's what they think. So who knows? But I do think Tony will ask them, and I think they may come back to do it, and then that's kind of their send-off. That's my prediction. What do you think, Monty?
I can't see Tony Khan holding Phoenix hostage, even if it is just to be spiteful, petty because they're going to WWE. I just don't think. Now that obviously, if Pentagon's contract is up now, or he's about to be up, or he's definitely going to be a free agent very imminently. I think he's just going to have to kind of cut his losses, let Phoenix go, and of course he'll ask if they want to do something on the way out. What that would be, I have no idea. You know, a lot of people want that Bucks match one last time. You know, you could do something where you get heat on the Bucks, where it's like, you know,
loser leaves.
Yeah, loser leaves town sort of thing. But yeah, I don't know, man. I can't say for sure.
Good idea.
It's a weird situation, isn't it? It's quite a unique one.
It's not that. What's unique? It's honestly not that unique.
I mean, it is because normally the tag partners would be coming up at the same time
together, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. What do you think, Anna?
I mean, I don't think it's very much an AEW thing to like keep someone hostage or just be like, no, actually, I have like rights to have another year with you or something. I don't think they would do that because I don't think it's the kind of like image that they want to have. You know, that would be very much like a Vince McMahon move. You know, so I definitely don't think they want to be like associated with that. So I think they're just gonna let him go whenever it's time. But I would like to see them having a last match, and I'm definitely one of the people that would like to see a last Bucks match, especially because the Bucks are not wrestling as much right now, and I feel like the Lucha Brothers, they were such an important part of AEW for such a long time. They were such an important tag team. They did so much for the division that they deserve to have a send-off, you know. And I don't know if it's something that they want or if they just want to like leave straight, but I think would be nice, like a last moment, a last nod. They also deserve to have like the crowd thanking them, things like that. I think they did so much that it should definitely be something that they would be open to. I don't think they're leaving in any bad terms or because they hate AEW, they hate Tony or anything. So I think it would make sense for them to have that. And as fans as well, it would be nice to see. No.
Penta probably shouldn't have been so chatty about it, though. He was very, very chatty about what he's gonna do.
Stop spreading fake news, Ibu. Did you hear Penta?
Like,
that was so funny.
Anna, I was on here during the Raw
present.
Dying laughing.
It
blew my mind, Anna, because this guy, I'm telling you, like literally, this is because it was corroborated by multiple talents, which is why they all reached out to me dying laughing. Because this guy was at TV basically like, yeah, so WWE gave me this, and I said, yeah, and I'm starting in September, and he's just telling people this, and so of course a couple of them are like, hey, Sean, or hey to me, or hey whoever, like, yeah, they're leaving. So I put this out, and he's like, lies. This is fake news. My president is with AEW. It's like, okay.
I just love the way that he worded it as well. You know, like my president is AEW. Like, yeah, we're not. No one said that it's not. It was for your future as well.
It was crazy. Like, come on, dude. It's gonna look so bad. It's gonna age like really bad in a month. So I don't know. God bless Penta.
That was funny.
Appreciate you as always.
We gotta go backwards now, right?
Yeah, we'll be all right. Darren Walker, £5. All in week. A shame Ibu's not coming to Wembley like Anna is. I'm sure Monty would put you in a hotel or let you sleep on his sofa. I don't live in London, bro.
Why does he word it like
crashing on my couch would be no use to anybody trying to go to All In, you know?
I don't know why he words this like I'm being abducted by Montel, but and I don't know. I actually don't like going to stadium wrestling shows in general. You know, it's all these fucking people. I just get really cranky. But you know, I got
really lucky last year.
Wait, what did you say?
I got really lucky last year because I'm similar. Like, I don't like the stadium, like sitting in the bowl, and like, and even if you're on the floor, you could be just like terrible view, you know. But I got really lucky with like the tickets I managed to get for myself. So.
You guys,
I'm kind of holding on to that. Maybe that's why I'm still like undecided on going this Sunday, because it's like I've already done it. You know, I've done it as best as you can do it. You know, had B seats on the floor.
I'd go if nothing else to just watch Bryan Danielson potentially win the AEW championship with Final Countdown playing and him getting that big moment.
I mean, that's the big one, isn't it? You know,
it's the big one.
Weighing up the pros and cons.
It's literally about nothing else. It's just you get to see Bryan do it. You know, you get to see him do it. And I'll tell you,
that's most of the reason that I'm going as well, like to see Bryan like finish, you know, like he got the last title of his career and stuff, and then the Mariah and Tony storyline. Also, I want to see that live, but everything else, being very honest, like the more that they release on this card, I'm like, I spent a lot of money. Should have done that. Like, was this the right decision?
You'll get a lot of extra time to buy chicken tenders and pee, you know, and a stadium beer, you know. So.
Hell yeah.
Dan Walker, £2 again. Appreciate you as always. Saraya versus Mercedes got to happen before she leaves.
I think it's going to happen, and I think it'll be in a period where Saraya's under her new AEW contract. I think she stays, and I think this match happens.
Yeah.
Dan Walker again, £5. Appreciate you. This super chat is for Ibu to review AAA Triple Mania at the weekend. The Streets are saying pay-per-view of the year. Also, Satnam Singh and Jinder new tag champions.
All right, fuck it. We'll take it here, Monty. So AAA had their Triple Mania. It's unclear if this is the fake Triple Mania or the canon one, because they do both now, Monty, and like all these events are called Triple Mania. It's an absolute mess, and don't make me explain it. But Mark Jindrak appeared on this show. The Mark Jindrak of WWE 03 Ruthless Aggression era mid-card Raw fame, who was just a guy. He was on the show because Conan was like, yeah, this is a guy people really are asking to see. He was there. Good for him. He got a paycheck. Matt Riddle appeared, and he won a 3-way for the AAA Cruiserweight Championship. So Matt Riddle, non-cruiserweight, won the cruiserweight title in his first AAA match. Elsewhere on the card, Nick Nemeth was in the main event against Alberto El Patron. This is a rematch of their classic from earlier this year. A match that was utterly terrible. But this time, Monty, John Bradshaw Layfield made an appearance, and he was there, and they played the anthem, and he and Nick Nemeth saluted the flag, and they pledged allegiance to America. And
what a company.
He didn't get involved in the main event, so we were like, so what was the point of him? But then, Monty, at the end of the show, he turned heel, and it was like, oh shit, JBL, career heel, who's always been an asshole to Mexican, is a bad guy again? What a swerve! But wait, there's more. Conan comes out. You're like, oh shit, Conan's gonna even the score. Let's go. Boom, Conan turns heel too, and he's wearing a Judgment Day shirt while he turned heel, and you're like, oh shit, what's going on? In spite of all this, Alberto El Patron, paragon of virtue, just a symbol of excellence, wins the AAA Mega Competition.
It's getting aggressive now.
Yeah, right. But wait, there's other fun to be found in this card, Monty, because guess what? The former Jinder Mahal teams with Satnam Singh, and you know what they did, Monty? They won the tag team championships. And
damn right.
All the big lucha outlets that cover Lucha Libre, Lucha Blog, Rob Viper, they were heavily covering this show. And across the board, they all said, this show fucking sucks. Don't watch it. If you watch it, it's your fault. Don't buy this. This is the worst promotion in the world. Rob Viper made a tweet where he basically said, look, guys, AEW fans hate WWE fans. WWE fans hate AEW fans. But I think we could all agree that Conan and AAA fucking suck. So that was Triple Mania. And if you watched it, I'm sorry. I did watch Ziggler versus Del Rio, Monty. I want you to guess how good this match was.
Yeah, I'm sure it was fine.
It was worse than the last one. but El Patron is now on steroids, and he's now like jacked. He was like really fat in the last one. He was wearing a shirt last time, and his like belly was coming out of it, but now now he's on point with that. But yeah, the match was terrible.
This whole company is like such a joke. It seems like someone is just hitting like random buttons, because I just opened my Twitter and I saw the picture of Jinder and Satnam with the tag title. I was like, what? I didn't even know
Jeff Jarrett looking proud.
Yeah, I was like, what is happening? And then I sent it to my friend who's like a really huge like Lucha Libre fan, and it's like, oh, that was not even the worst thing that happened in the show. Like, wait, what else happened? Like, oh, so Matt Reno and Alberto Del Rio, Dolph Ziggler, like JBL showed up and Conan, and everything you said, I'm like, what? This is not a real company at this point, I feel bad for all the good luchadores that are there. They're just like held hostage and stuck. Like, this is so bad. This is so bad.
They did a backstage like interview angle where like Vikingo like walks up to like Poltron, and his face is just like, I don't want to be here, dude. Like, I don't. He just kind of has. He's so much shorter. El Patron is like making fun of his height and stuff. He's just kind of like, little man, you know, and he's like staring at him holding his championship, and I'm like, they're not gonna do this match, are they? Are they gonna do this match? Is this gonna happen? So there you go. That's AAA. God bless. I don't know who it's for. I don't know who Conan books for. I don't know like who
Nobody
watches.
Does, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nobody does. Scott Danielson 199 All-Star Tag next Monday? ?
I think Scott is referring to last week's angle when we got CM Punk and Drew McIntyre bleeding into Randy Orton and Gunther. And all I know is the WWE that existed when I was 9 years old would have booked that main event, which is, you know, Randy and Punk versus Gunther and Drew.
Hoping for it.
Yeah. Is Triple H going to be a big boy and book that? I don't know. He's booking Kaiser Randy tonight, which will be good. But will he give us the All-Star tag? We'll see. I know Punk wants to do it.
But like, do you know who's going to be like in Raw next week? Because they're doing a live show like the same day.
What do you mean?
In Brussels. Like they're doing a live show on Monday next week in Brussels. So I don't know who's going to be in the live show and who's going to be on Raw.
You know? Oh my God!
I think SmackDown talent, you'd imagine, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably SmackDown people. That makes sense.
Yeah, they're usually pretty good at balancing that out. To be fair, the rosters are so big these days at the top two, so it's like, you know, well, no AEW don't do house shows, but anyway. Corey David $2. Ibu, how should Noah poach Tavian Heights from NXT?
This is a great question. They should do it. Is it possible? Not really, but this is how they should try to do it. The fact of the matter is Tavian Heights is progressing at a rapid rate, and collegiate amateur wrestlers in Japan has always been a great mix historically. Yes. It's always been a great mix. He's getting so much better, so much faster than he would have just staying in the NXT system. This is what I would preach to NXT. If I'm Keiji Muto, I hit them up and it's like, hey, Shining Wizard here, Keiji Muto. Look, this Tavian Heights kid is growing so well, and I think if you let us keep him for a couple more months, the wrestler that you're going to be getting back is a guy that can main event your premium live events. So I pitched to Sean by basically saying something that's not even a lie, which is just, look, man, let him stick around. He's improving. Why cut this off? Let him continue to grow. You get him back, and he's going to be a great wrestler, not just a wrestler with promise, a great wrestler, right? So you do that. You convince him, right? As you do that, you continue to kind of get Heights ingratiated into the Japanese culture, because I can tell you that he's having a great time. He's having a great time in Japan right now. He's really bonding with a lot of the people. He's going around the restaurants and things of that nature. You continue to do that. You sell him on it. You make him love what you do. You love Japan. You love Noah, so on and so forth, right? And then what happens is you tell him before he goes back to NXT, don't change a thing about what we taught you. Everything we're teaching you, you do it over there. And then you just hope he stiffs somebody. That's your best hope. You know, you hope he stiffs somebody. You hope he gets fired, and then you sign him. So that's the escape
This is the most evil plan.
Yeah, right. Just knock out Lexus King, you know, and then
Lexus King. God, I forgot about him.
We're advocating a lot of violence here tonight.
That's what it is.
Got Saraya versus Julia, Tavian Heights shooting on NXT people. You know, so what are we? Outlaw show. Anna Sassorton $2. Appreciate it as always. Tavian makes me feel like how Monty feels about Oba. Pop.
Ricky Wally. I agree, actually. I think you should beat Obafemi.
Listen. Let's slow down. You know? Let's slow down a bit. We're relinquishing that belt, brother. Anyway, Ricky Wally 199 gets Saraya out of my company now. Very spiteful. Anjan $2. Appreciate you again. They need to talk to Dragon about his interviews.
Man.
I found out some of them were recorded like a hot minute ago, from what I understand. Some of them are obviously, majority of them are going to be more recent, but yeah, he's a very relaxed approach, isn't it?
It's so jarring. Yeah. Go ahead, Anna.
No, I was gonna say, like, it's not the kind of approach you would expect to sell like the main event of their biggest show of the year, you know? And also, like, it's his career on the line. It's something that he had to fight so hard to get back after he was forced to retire. And he's really like, I mean, it's all right by me. Like, it's fine.
This is such a deep cut. What? If 5 people in this live chat get this, that's a win. He has the temperament of like fucking Yo from Shaman King. It's so jarring to see Swerve every interview, every public appearance, every promo. He's just like, Bryan Danielson, I don't give a fuck about you and your kids, and I will fucking kill you at Wembley Stadium. And Bryan Danielson's like, fair enough. Maybe. And it's like, what the hell, dude? Like,
I'm at peace with that. Yeah.
Like, it's like, what do you mean? And Eddie Kingston's trying to like wake him up with promos. Jeff Jarrett's doing the same thing, and then like Bryan's like kind of like buying into it, but then he's doing these interviews like you just said, where he's just kind of like, yeah, my neck really hurts and I need surgery and I really need to go and my kids miss me and I do want to see Brie again and Birdie and whatever. And it's like, what the dude? Like, can you like? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's this weekend, so like the Dynamite, I feel like is the last chance that they have to pull an angle that he's like, you know what? No, I was okay, but now I'm gonna fuck up something like that. So I think like maybe if Swerve like just brutalizes Yuta or something, like he just really fucks him up, makes him bleed, and just almost kills him live on TV. And then Bryan's like, oh, okay, now you fucked up, something like that. Or he invades his house and kidnaps one of his kids. I don't know what he has to do now for Bryan to wake up.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's gonna be like career versus like no, it's not title versus career. It's gonna be like career versus Birdie or something. She's gonna be like from the ceiling. I don't know what they have to do for Bryan to like actually start getting some fire on him, but this Dynamite is like the last chance. If it doesn't happen now, it's just gonna be very interesting to watch. I think
he has to flip the. You know what I think they should do actually late in the game here, but I think because I think they're gonna do a promo, right? I think Swerve should bring this up. I think he should like slap him and be like, "You've been fucking disrespecting me. The fact that you're talking like this means you don't want it." But show me you want it. Show me you want it, Bryan, or slap for some shit and like you just something along that line because. I think we really do need to make that point. Part of what made Ric Flair, honestly, Monty, just like, I'm like, are you disrespecting me? You think you can beat me? It's like, what the fuck is wrong?
No, you just throw spaghetti at the wall. I know it's not like a proper thought out pitch, but I don't know.
I needed to be dramatic, melodramatic, just like, show me, Bryan. Like, do you want this?
Yeah, it definitely needs to be dramatic and it needs to have like a wake up moment, so to speak,
Bryan rips his shirt off. He's like, I do want it. I've always wanted it. I want to be a champion. I'm going to be a champion. I want to take you out. Whatever the fuck. If it kills
just
me.
scream.
Who's somebody in AEW that could really like get through to Bryan / strike a nerve? Because it's
John Moxley.
You think Mox?
Could you imagine on the go home wild thing? Mox comes out there and he's just like, let me tell you something, Bryan, with his little shoulder swivel shit that he does. Let me tell you something, Bryan. When we built the BCC, it was about winning the future. This future can't be secure without you, and you have to be the champion. You got to lead AEW until you can't anymore.
Ideally, it would actually be Regal, but you got the other place.
No.
Part of why Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels was effective was that Ric Flair, in spite of everybody's perception of like where he was in his career, which is literally being on the last legs, he was the one guy defiantly sticking the middle finger at everybody, going like, "Fuck you all! I'm not done." He literally had a promo where he was like, "I'll never retire. I'll never retire." He's ripping his clothes off and shit. And Shawn Michaels had to tell him, like, I'm gonna take you out like old Yeller, and he started slapping up Shawn like, "Oh Yeller, you want to kill me?" So that's what I want. I want to watch a wrestler with the walls closing in on him, right? And at that moment where the walls are closing in, you're going full Tony Montana mode, where you're just saying like, "Fuck you. I'm not going out like that. You're not going to take me out, and I'm going to dictate how I go." That's the best type of story. You're the old gunslinger. We know you're on your last leg. We know it's over. Bryan Danielson has a sandpaper neck, right? But in spite of that, he's going to do something he's never done, which is win a title in the stadium main event for, well, he actually did do that at WrestleMania 30, but you know what I mean. The point is, he needs to pull off the miracle here and do so with a big middle finger at everybody who really thought this was it for him. But instead, the walls are closing in, and he's just like, I guess I'll die. And it's like, why? No, I don't want to watch you in that mode.
Yeah. No, I feel like Swerve, he just has to go like full White 6 on the BCC or something, Just like, just show the BCC, like Claudio backstage, like a gunshot, and like, so I don't know. Like at this point, I really don't know what they have to do, but like this Dynamite is now or never. Like Bryan needs to wake the fuck up. Like
everybody should be telling you, like, dude, you shouldn't even be wrestling with your neck, and he should be like saying, "Fuck you, I don't care." I love wrestling. It's my life. If I die, I die. And you're like, oh shit,
but
life or death.
That's why it's even more jarring for me that this is the way he's approaching it, because his whole career and all of his other matches, he's been the kind of wrestler that always approached everything being, like, no, I'm gonna fight. This is my life, wrestling. Like, he's always approached it like this. And now, like, when it's finally the time to put all of the things that he said for years, like, to, it's like the moment, the final countdown, literally, he's like, oh, actually, I don't really care. Like,
yes, you literally should be walking in ready to die. And Swerve has to be the guy telling him, like, if it has to be me that pulls that trigger, I will do it and I won't hesitate. It's why I've gotten to where I've gotten to. And Brian's not afraid. And you go in and that's the situation. But they've kind of told this like halfway story where they've kind of told that story. But like I said, he keeps undercutting this tension with like this like casual nature of his interviews where he's just like, yeah, I don't want to feel that way. I want to feel like this guy's going into literally the final countdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vinny May, 199. Likelihood of Ain't Nobody playing this Sunday. I'd go 5%. I'm not saying it's impossible.
I was supposed to ask, hilariously, Monty, I was actually supposed to ask AEW about this today and I forgot to.
Bro, did you hear, like, did you hear how Swerve spoke about that whole conversation when he first came to AEW and didn't have the song?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's disappointing because
that's why I'm giving it such a low chance. Like, I'm not saying it's impossible, but
it's disappointing. Yeah. Tony was willing to go out of his way to try to acquire the song, but Swerve didn't even want it. And now we're at a point where I don't know if we'll bring him back. He's a babyface now, so I wish he did. It's one of the greatest songs of all time. Hilariously, random anecdote, Monty. Shaka Khan, the singer of this great single. There's a movie about her and Ike Turner. What's Love Got to Do with It? And I put it on Sunday night. And then like 10 minutes in, I was like, I don't need this energy in my life. I do not. I was not trying to watch a domestic abuse movie at like midnight on Sunday. I was like, let me never mind. I just closed the tab. I was like, nah, fuck that. But shout out to Shaka Khan.
Absolutely. Dunno, 499. ZSJ is winning no matter what. We hit and shoot knee bars if necessary. Yota and Yoya are the clear top two of the new generation. Step it up, shooter. Yeah.
No,
I
think he's definitely winning. I think they just like kind of realized like Naito is in no condition of main eventing Wrestle Kingdom. It's like it's their huge like biggest show. Yeah, they just saw Naito and they're like, yeah, we cannot risk it. This man cannot go. We cannot risk like a shit, like a Wrestle Kingdom main event. So I think he's walking into Wrestle Kingdom as a champion. I don't think he's walking now Wrestle Kingdom as a champion.
I want to quickly correct myself.
But I don't know against who. Yeah.
I mixed up Tina Turner and Shaka Khan, and I don't know how that happened, but I just want to make it clear that I'm aware I mixed that up before I get completely.
Yeah. Someone takes your black card off you.
Oh, that'd be unfortunate because I this card has been here for years. This is
I'd hope so.
Right?
I hope you've never had it taken off you. Anyway. R Curtis 777-499. Appreciate you as always. Shout out Chriso for that ZSJ crash out on Twitter. It comes with beans and toast. Yeah, he lost it, bro.
Monty, our DMs were crazy. Well. I did that thing I do with Joe sometimes where I look around the black corner. I'm like, who can I go to? And I turn to Chris and I'm like, you like that match?
Rosho 1221 $2.79 Canadian. SRS said Saraya booked for All In. Hater related ?
I think that's very likely. Saraya is going to have an angle on the show.
Yeah, but I think it's more of like a pre-show thing, no? Or maybe she's just coming out and being like, yeah, this is my city. I want to have something now, and then Jamie comes out, maybe something like that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I think she has like an angle / segment on the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dragon Master Adam, £5. Appreciate you as always. This G1 this year is why I love wrestling. Unpredictable but logical. Work rate but also story and moments. I love wrestling. It's a good G1, man.
I'm happy for you, Adam. I'm happy.
It was a good G1, man. It was Takeshita's run. So I've been hearing rave reviews about David Finlay for the past 2 weeks. You know,
I didn't watch Finlay Suji. I was like, whatever. I saw the opening weekend, right? Yeah. And then Ash is telling me it was better than ZSJ versus fucking Shingo. So
I mean, some good performances. Yeah. Obviously, Takeshita stood out massively. Zack Sabre Jr. legitimately one of the best in the world, if not the.
Yeah.
Shingo did his thing. Cobb had a few good matches in there. Suji had a good run. Yuya unfortunately got injured, but he was having a really good run. Goto as well. Like it was a good G1, man. It wasn't like the great G1s from like 6 years ago, you know, but it was a good one. It was a good one.
Yeah, it's what they were needing right now for sure.
Those G1s of like the 2010s they're at like a level that's like I think unattainable for modern wrestling. To be honest.
Yeah,
like 2016 G1, it's just like 2017, 2016. It's like, oof. Yeah,
New Japan's roster at its peak, they went like 14 deep of like legitimately elite professional wrestlers.
Yeah, and there was like a mad drive they all had, you know. It's like because when in not recent years with New Japan's top guys, like a lot of them are like aging, so a lot of them, especially with like how extensive the New Japan tours are, like they pick their spots, man, and like you can't blame them, you know. But like back then, we're just all going fucking crazy.
Monty, your bench players in fucking like the mid 2010s were like Yuji Nagata and Hiroki Goto, and that's when Goto was a demon, and like Nagata was still a monster, you know. So yeah, Nakamura and Shibata and Tanahashi and Ibushi, you know, Okada. My goodness, Kenny
was
prime Naito.
His output was.
You know, like every Kenny G1 match was just like insane. You know, I feel like Kenny had better G1 matches than some people like in those G1s 2016, 2017 that most wrestlers have in their entire careers, you know?
Yes. Kenny Omega would have like he'd have like to be a star ratings nerd, he'd have like 6 4.5 plus matches. Like it just he made me think Michael Elgin was a great wrestler. Like I don't know if y'all remember those times. I was like, man, that guy's amazing.
Anas Anjan $2. I said Shoto when I thought about the dishes.
Yeah.
Little Smoke. Little Smoke 199. Suji, get up. He's doing fine, man. He's doing fine, bro.
He didn't have
Ibu kind of he was quite childish with your review of the
Which what review?
Of Suji versus Zack Sabre Jr.
I didn't write a long form review. I just vented about it.
You didn't need to. I've seen the number, you know. Anyway.
Oh, you talking about my star rating in the spreadsheet?
I think you kind of lashed out. May need to rewatch it again, kind of thing, you know.
Well, we'll talk about it after these super chats then.
Jay Stone, $5. So where do the profits go from here once Tangaloa pins Tez and they retain the tag titles? Does Hunter got the pulse on our feelings about that?
Okay, so per WWE, this is directly from WWE. I said, hey, so is Tangaloa the tag champion or Jacob? And they said it's Freebird rule. And I said, why is it Freebird rule? And he said, Jacob will never be pinned by any of these tag teams. That was what I got told right from WWE. He will never be pinned by these tag teams. So we'll see what happens. The Street Profits are going for the tag belts next week. As far as I know, it's Jacob and Tama they're facing, which means they're not winning.
bro, why not? You know, Dragunov working main event ? Get him out of there.
He has a segment on Raw tonight, like a backstage thing. But yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that. Kaiser had a match on main event last week, and he's literally on the actual Raw main event this week against Randy Orton. So
I think the Berlin show coming up, and I'll get it as well because people want to see him on the Berlin show and have like a significant match. And if he faced Bron Breakker on the show, I'd have absolutely zero complaints about it. It would pop me.
They should do it.
But I feel like people are kind of like getting a bit dramatic about like his booking and stuff recently. He's only, he's still pretty fresh to the roster and stuff. And it's like, what do you actually want? Where do you actually want him to like fit, sort of thing? And he's kind of there at the moment. Would you like to see him a little bit more? Yeah, but it's like I don't know. It's like a prioritizing thing. And
my only complaint really is that I just like him on the Berlin card. I don't really have a problem with his usage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like when you look at his booking overall, it's just kind of like, well, it's pretty fine. Like, could it be better? Yeah, I guess. But is it like terrible or anything? No. But obviously the Berlin card kind of exaggerates everything, doesn't it? You know.
I don't think fans are actually like doing the whole like, what are they doing with Ilya thing though. I think they're just saying, can we please see him more, which is a totally fair thing. You know, he's a great wrestler. So.
I don't know, man. I've seen quite a bit of it.
You walk around some nasty streets though sometimes, you know. So
what's that supposed to mean?
Walk around some nasty streets.
Anjan $2. Lewis at Silverstone, ZXJ at Ryogoku, so Bruv at Wembley. Osprey is wrestling MJ. Yeah, bro, that's not a lock. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, man. Ross Kemp $5. Zack, yes, fucking knew you could do it. We love you. A lot of flags. A lot of British flags right there. England flags.
I do have a question. Who do you guys think, like, if Zack wins in October, which I think is very possible because it's right before like Royal Quest as well, who do you think he's facing in the main event Wrestle Kingdom?
Suji feels logical. I selfishly.
Yeah.
I think a storm, baby.
No, I hear you, but I think it'll be Suji, and I'll have zero complaints about it being Suji, to be honest. But Yoya would pop me the most.
Yeah, like Suji and him, they're gonna have their nice little match, and
I mean, I think it's either Suji or I would not write Shingo off. You know what I mean?
New Japan doesn't love Shingo Takagi enough to have a main event at Tokyo Dome, though.
Yeah, that's dumb of them, but yeah, I could see Suji for sure.
Yeah,
I would complain.
I don't think she can go. But you know,
it's either gonna be like it's gonna be Shingo or Suji most likely, but I think it's just gonna be Suji probably. But yeah.
Ross Kemp $2. This means everything. Everything.
Right.
This is starting to get aggressive, you know. It's all this, you know.
It is, man. All the capitals, and have to put like, you know, a bit of spin on it. Can't just read it. Berkey 199. How bad is Lucha Bros Death Rebel thing going to be?
Oh my god!
It's gonna be awful.
Think about that shit.
The criminal.
All right,
it's gonna be so criminal. Just like the worst beat you've ever heard in your life.
McAfee's gonna be standing on the fucking announce table and shit. He's like, Michael Cole, it's time. The Cerro Miedo! He's gonna start doing all that shit on commentary.
Some Chunko 34 Zar didn't know him before NXT, but Joe Hendry is so as if they put him in a ring with Cena, he's getting cooked worse. And fearing NXT in 2024 is sad.
Listen,
the Joe Hendry thing's unfortunate, but
yes,
sad the whole show is it's just a Joe Hendry thing, really, isn't it?
I thought the main event last week with Axiom and Frazier was great, but yeah, Joe Hendry. Look, Monty, I hate to be the guy to take victory laps, but I'm always right about this. You know, I'm right about these meme guys.
I'm still undecided.
It fucking sucks. Like it is.
Yeah, but like my expectations have been very kind of like, is he like? He's popular. People like him at the moment. And he's got hype behind him and stuff like that. Like he's got loads of momentum. So it's like, can he at least carry that momentum in the sense of like, can he hold his own in a live segment with the mic, and can he hold his own in tag matches? Like I'm not looking for him to like blow me away and be in his next
Monty,
incredible work rate.
Do you remember Rebecca Black? You know.
What's this got to do with Rebecca Black, bro?
It has everything to do with Rebecca Black. You couldn't go anywhere without hearing "It's Friday." It was all over your life. You couldn't escape the song. You couldn't escape. It was everywhere. People played it. It was the hot song on the streets. And then eventually, like, you just didn't hear about Rebecca Black again, you know? And the truth is, there are certain people that their popularity peaks like a supernova. And, like, not to be an asshole, but, like, Joe Hendry, unlike an LA Knight, for example, does not have the qualities to sustain this appeal past seeing it for a little bit. It's the truth. People wanted
this. No, but the thing is, okay, so Rebecca Black, yeah, one hit wonder. Obviously, someone wrote her a song and it just hit and it got catchy, but it blew up and then she disappeared because she wasn't actually talented. And I'm not saying Joe Hendry's the next big talent that we've all been sleeping on the past 10 years. What he's like, him getting to this point is very intentional. You know, like he's been building up these skits and doing these songs and doing these things for years now, and now it's hit. It's like, so there is people who have been on that journey, and you know what I'm saying? It's not like he's a one-hit wonder, if that makes sense. It's just like, this is his time in the sun. How long can it last? You know?
But what I was getting at is this: the NXT fans thought they really wanted Joe Hendry. You know, they're like, "Oh my God, let's get Joe Hendry." They got him in the Battle Royal. Then they teased it. He got eliminated very quickly. You're like, "Oh, we want Hendry." And they brought him out. He's getting more and more exposed. And what I'm trying to say is, I think he's very much going to be one of those people that they think they want him until they see enough of him and go, "Oh, I get it now. Okay, cool." And it's like, it's going to wear thin. We saw this when the WWE fans that watch NXT talked themselves into Lexis King until they realized that Lexis King isn't good. Because they did try to do that with him. Honestly. They're like, "Oh, you know, Lexis King has aura, like AEW fumbled him." And then it's like, wait, this guy sucks. And he's kind of quietly moved on to something.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, at NXT No Mercy, they're going to do him versus Ethan Page for the title. Last year's No Mercy, the NXT Championship match.
Now, Wesley's going to be in it, isn't it?
No, he's not. At last year's No Mercy, they did Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes, and it was one of the best WWE matches of the year. This year, it's going to be Hendry and Ethan Page. And listen, all I'm going to say is, I will be tapped in, Monty. Is it for positive?
Hate watching NXT.
I will be tapped in.
Now, to be honest, when it comes to his usage on NXT, I think we had the conversation on it. It's like, I don't blame WWE bringing him in and riding his way for the momentum that he's got and his hype and stuff. And when he had like the backstage interaction with Shawn Michaels, I thought it was going to kind of be like more kind of like a social media. He does a few backstage segments. Maybe he does like, you know, he did the concert. I thought it was going to be like something like, I don't know, like a Shawn Michaels song or something. And he would have like a little cute backstage kind of thing going on, but throwing him into like the title scene and stuff is like where I'm kind of like, well, hold on.
Yeah, let him just be a fun little undercard guy that is fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Things, you know. And you know what? Dave Meltzer had a bad week last week, but one thing that he said that I totally agreed with was he had a really bad week. He had a really, you know, it is what it is. But the thing I totally agree with Dave about, he was right when he basically said that, you know, WWE is prioritizing Joe Hendry and capitalizing on that. They got a guy in-house who's much more charismatic than Trick Williams. And I'll tell you what about Trick. He's not like the best wrestler either, but he's like 29 years old. He's 7 years younger than Joe Hendry. And we know that Trick's not in his final form, whereas Joe Hendry, this is what he's going to be. This is the wrestler he was when I watched him against Kurt Angle on the Independence in 2016. You know, so it's one of those things where it's like, this is actually one of those moments where I'm like, prioritize your own. You know, you have your own in-house guy here who's like just better and has the upside, you know.
I agree. Trick would still be world champion if it was up to me.
Yeah. You know? If the match is Ethan Page versus John Hendry, then just let the women main event, you know. That should not be the main event of any show.
I think it will.
No, yeah, Roxanne is going to main event that show.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think
and Julia
will.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Darren Walker, £5. Any views on Top Flight's new pilot gimmick? It's great. Layla Gray is back and can't wait for Leo Rush to vomit black goo in airports in America. Yeah, I think the gear is like absolutely absurd. Like it's so on the nose. It's like it's straight up like straight out of like the Vince playbook, bro. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You know,
I'm pro Layla Gray being on my screen. You know, I think her being the top flight is great. Being a flight attendant, sure. I don't need the Martins like literally wearing like the flight attendant.
And Andretti, bro. Like
Yeah.
all three of them, he just looks stupid, bro. It's so on. It's like
Very hokey.
come on, man. Yeah.
You know how I knew it was going to trend in this direction? They had an interaction with MXM, I think 2 weeks ago on Collision, and it was like heavily scripted.
Infected them.
No, but it's not even just that. The segment was very scripted and like unnatural, and everything Andretti and these guys were saying was like it was like a flight pun. No one caught it, but it was just kind of like, "Hey, man, you better relax because we're about to take off, and really calm down, buddy. Cool your jets." It's like you're gonna take flight. Like there's all these like flying puns, and I was like, God damn, Jimmy Jacobs, calm down. Like, please.
And then like private party, like literally had a private party as well. It was just like,
yeah,
there's some stuff going on over there at the moment. You know?
The AEW C shows are becoming like NXT pilled. It's weird.
Yeah.
It was very NXT.
Yeah, it's very NXT pilled.
Amori, $4.99. Why is Bryson trolling with his media comments for the All-In build? It feels counterintuitive with how real Swerve's taking things. Yeah, we got into that quite a little bit. I don't know if you missed it, but
yeah, I was just gonna say one thing. I feel like it's even more like the difference. It gets even worse because of the whole Hangman thing. You know, I feel like that's also one of the reasons why people are kind of upset
100%.
about it. Yeah, because Hangman really like put everything into it, and you believe like he really wants to like kill Swerve. He doesn't even care about the title, so like it's fine. But we know that if Hangman was in that position, it was gonna be like completely different, and that's why people are like, please just react, do something, you know? Because then people were already upset that Hangman didn't win like to go to the main event, and now this gives reason to people to be even more upset, you know? So I do understand. Yeah. Anyway.
Matt Hennessy, €2.49. Kamala Hayes versus Andrade and DIY versus Street Profits was awesome. Yeah, man.
Yeah, totally agree. Andrade has been terrific the last like
wonderful
month and a half.
Wonderful wrestler.
He is a sensational wrestler. I say this every week because it's just never going to change. He's been in great form since Collision, and now he's added this like Tanahashi element to his game now as this kind of like classical babyface type worker. And he's just been great. This series with Carmelo has helped Carmelo Hayes. They had that good pull apart after the match, so this is going to continue. I'd like to see it on pay-per-view, but Triple H is allergic to pay-per-views going longer than 5 minutes. 5 matches.
Black Yakuza, $94. AEW fans want Saraya to leave and WWE fans wanting her to stay. It's hilarious, and Saraya just posted about it too.
What did she say?
Let's have a look.
I'll
read it to the audience of ours very shortly. Saraya.
This is about to be funny.
Where are you, Saraya? She tweeted 44 minutes ago, for hating me so much, you guys sure do talk a lot about me. Then she retweeted somebody who told her to break her neck again.
Come on.
It's unfortunate people say such things.
Saraya shoots on Anna?
Could never.
Come on,
never
bro.
imagine being.
Okay.
I would never tweet that, you know?
Yes. You just want her to not be in the show you want.
Eva, we got a task for you. You get paid $2 for it, bro.
Okay.
Google Rebecca Black 2024 right now.
She's actually doing super well. Like, her music is not bad.
Okay, so you do that, Eva.
Yeah.
Black Yakuza 94, $2. Who's a bigger meme right now, Jey Uso or Joe Hendry?
I don't know.
What do you mean by bigger meme? Do you mean as in like it's the bigger part of their personality, or who is literally the bigger meme, as in who is more viral on like TikTok and Twitter and shit? You know,
they're both like one-dimensional meme acts at the moment, but at the very least with Jey Uso, he has like a lot of continuity that they will draw back from imminently when he gets involved with Roman Reigns for this like Civil War storyline. And you would have at least anticipate that he's going to revert back to being more serious when that happens and producing good TV.
So he says, whose ceiling is higher as a start? Jey.
Was Jey Uso, obviously.
Jey Uso.
Jey, clearly, yeah.
Joe Henry isn't good. Like, what do we?
Henry's probably not even making it to main roster, bro. Like,
Jey Uso, like, also, I think they tried. You know, they saw like how popular he was, and they tried giving him single matches, and then he just like sank every time.
Good.
So
It kills me, and like these Bloodline stand accounts will make these posts like Jey Uso deserves better. They're fumbling him, right? Do you agree? And it's like, did you
just watch the WrestleMania match?
And
I think WWE has a better handle now of what he is, which is he's over. He has a great entrance. The fans love him. He's fun. He's great as a sidekick to Sami Zayn and people like that. But what you don't do is put him in major singles matches on pay-per-view.
Link, £2. Thoughts on the new TNT belt?
This is in reference to Jungle Boy unveiling the new TNT belt, which was a black belt with like this like kind of red paint over it. Looks like blood. I like it. I like it for Jack.
It's like a little nut to like House of Torture thing in Evil. Because he did the same thing with the WGP.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, well. Okay. Eddie, $5. With Liz's popularity, Rhea's mainstream, and Charlotte's impending return, is Becky still a priority for WWE? I feel like the fans don't miss her. She hasn't been gone that long, bro.
I will say I haven't like, because there's been times Becky's been gone and it's like, man, this show needs Becky, but I haven't really felt like that right now. I don't really think about her.
Yeah, but
I mean, I'm kind of the opposite, you know. I love Becky, man. It's like I know, but like with Rhea and Liv, it's one of those things I can appreciate how popular it is and stuff, and I'm sure like you're the same. But it's like I don't actually like it's not really popping me that much, except for like certain instances, like when Rhea got that fucking Austin pop 2 weeks ago, like stuff like that pops me. When the crowd like explodes for certain angles and stuff like that, like it does pop me. But overall, as a story, it's like it's not my kind of thing, you know. Whereas like, and when sometimes when I'm watching Raw, I do think, you know, need a bit of could do with a bit of Becky, just kind of wanting to fight someone, cut a real promo, you know.
The thought I get is we need some EO minutes, you know, which she's getting.
That's fair. That's fair as well.
Bro, he had like a 50-second hot tag on last week's Raw, and it was genuinely like the best American women's wrestling of the month.
He is awesome, bro. He is like best in the world level, you know. He's just opportunity kind of thing. I think we even saw that when she popped over to Japan for that match.
She tagged in, and it was like Shote, and then like duck under, like a bunch of backflips to like the corner, you know, to duck under again, Shote, and then she did the springboard missile drop kick, and the crowd was going crazy. And I was like, man, she is just special.
All right, so
for me, the thing with Becky. Sorry, I'm just gonna say that for me, the thing with Becky, it's like people don't really realize how much they miss her, and then when she gets back on TV, you're like, oh yeah, this is what we've been missing, you know?
Yeah.
Like she's great. She's a great talent.
Total pro. What's up, Monty?
I was gonna say now the chat has basically dictated a lot of this show. We've already kind of touched on a few of the things that we was going to get to anyway, like Zack Sabre winning the G1, AAA.
It's actually it's the cool thing about this is you'll have a rundown, but then like the people do it for you. But to just kind of circle back to just dot I's and cross T's. Did you guys have any additional opinions on just Zack's week? Because he beat Shingo Takagi in his block semis to make it to the final, and then he beat Yota Tsuji in the final. Yota Tsuji defeated David Finlay and Konosuke Takeshita on his end to make it to the final. What did you guys just think of that as a match? I thought his match with Shingo was like great. It was not as good as his previous matches with Shingo, but I did think it was still great, and I thought it was better than the final. And I made this whole long post where I was trying to articulate this feeling, and the broad opinion that I had was just that Shingo almost feels like a ghost now to me. It feels like he's like losing relevancy because no one talked about this match that was excellent, and at the same time, you almost get it because New Japan's priority right now is like making stars and getting people over rather than like just great matches from existing veterans who've been here forever. And he's 41. And so I think he's a little bit at a crossroads, but I don't know. It's probably a bit of a broad topic. I don't know if you had any opinions on that, Monty, but it was just kind of like...
No, I kind of agree with you, Shingo. He does kind of feel like he's like this phantom. You know, yeah. he's kind of like he's looming, but not really. Like he's still always been as capable as he always has been. You know, he's so good. So yeah, it's kind of like this weird thing where it's like it kind of feels like he should be kind of prioritized a bit more than he is, especially considering like the sands of time are running out on him, and it's like there's a very limited window where he's going to remain at this level. But yeah, I think it is a weird dynamic. And as for Zack and his performances and those two matches you mentioned, I thought the Shingo match was obviously probably one of the matches of the tournament, not quite the match of the tournament.
Yeah.
It was I would say I would agree with you in saying it was the best of the three matches in terms of like the block finals and the actual final itself.
Yeah.
But I think the main difference is that Shingo is such a well-rounded performer compared to Tsuji, which, obviously, experience levels, etc., etc. And I don't know, man. Like Tsuji, I think in those longer main events, like we briefly spoke about it on DMs, it's like he still hasn't quite found his New Japan main event flow quite yet. He's got a few gaps to fill, but I don't think there's anything that you would be like really worried about if you're New Japan or somebody who's rooting for him to be a top guy there. It's just little things like if you watch those two matches back to back, like I did, like one of the biggest difference was like the selling. Like Shingo's selling is so much more it's just better. He has a lot more depth to it, and he can layer it up better ways.
Let's just rip the band-aid off. Let's break the seal. Shingo Takagi is from a dying breed, Monty. They don't make wrestlers like this. There's so many great young wrestlers in the industry now. So I'm not saying that the industry is deficient in great wrestlers in their 20s. There's plenty of them. But they come in and they imitate their ace of their choice. And so you get all these clones of Hiroshi Tanahashi or Shawn Michaels or Kenny Omega. And you get these young studs who are really good at that, right? And so that's why, like, again, the industry's in good hands with people like Takeshita or Yuma Anzai or Kaito Kiyomiya. But the bottom line is the Shingo types, man. The guys who were in the trenches, the guys who wrestled everywhere, the guys who were doing shows in the smallest of towns and the biggest of towns, and they've wrestled every type of style known to man. The Shingo Takagis that are just so well-rounded, you know, they're just a dying breed. You don't see wrestlers like that who are so resourceful, so smart with how they work. It's very apparent to me, like when I watch somebody like him, or when I watch a Ghost.
Yeah, but like this, as I was saying, like Tsuji's still like putting it together. You know, he's kind of like. But yeah, your initial point of like it's a dying breed of like your Shingos and like that old school like Ring of Honor crop. Like 100%, I agree with you like wholeheartedly on that front. I just think like with Tsuji, it's like I don't think it's just a depth thing which will come with like experience, especially if they continue to position him the way that they do and push him the way that they do. Because it's just like when I said with his selling, like it's just he just needs to add some more depth to his selling and kind of concentrate just concentrate on it a bit more, sort of thing. And like I said,
I don't think it's an experience thing. I think it's literally just you didn't live the life I lived, and so you'll never be what I am.
Yeah, but of course he's not going to like. There's like a 15-year difference or whatever the fuck it is. You know what I mean?
My point is because here's the thing: he's all he needs to do, all Yota Tsuji needs to do, because let's say he's a lifer. Like I'm not going to presume, but let's say he's a lifer, right? He just needs to grow to be better at working their house style. The same way that WWE's in-house guys that they're making their prospects just need to figure out how to be better at the in-house style of those promotions. That's all these young wrestlers need to do that are chosen and handpicked by their promotions. It's just not the same route as it was before. And so as a result, you will just not have certain qualities. So yes, Tsuji's going to become a better wrestler, right? And he's going to become a better seller. But when it comes to like you pull off that top layer and you see like what little minerals are underneath the surface, right? And you look at Shingos versus a Tsuji. There's just going to be different ingredients and
yeah, more. I'm not saying nobody's saying Tsuji's going to be Shingo. I'm just talking about him being successful as a main eventer. So anyway,
yeah,
depth to his selling. And I think even depth to his offense, because I think with Tsuji, like everything that stands out about him is very like surface level. Like he's charismatic, he's got a good look. Mm-hmm. His offense is very kind of like flashy and good. But it's like I notice it in like when he gets into later stages of matches, like unless he's hitting that GD blast, he doesn't really have much that you can kind of like bite on as false finishes and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it's like even though his offense is cool and looks good, it's like he needs to like add a few more different things to really like help develop those final stretches. Like he has a really good bag of offense, but it needs to be deeper, you know?
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, if you can add a bit more depth to his offense, add a bit more depth to his selling, and concentrate on those two things, I think he'll be very successful as a New Japan main eventer. Will he be the next Shingo, Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe? Absolutely not. I don't think that's possible. And like I said, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Like, the chat's saying we're losing recipes, and we are, but
it just this is like a weird place for to vent about this, but it just feels like a lot of these like young, hyped up. It just feels like they're like superficially good. If that makes any sense.
We're having like a proper old man rant.
No, but it's like it just feels like it's like good and flashy, but again like a superficial like, oh, he's fast, oh, he's charismatic, oh, he's athletic, and and that's cool, and they're gonna be successful. But I don't know. I just feel like there's certain tools.
There is a couple talents out there that will make you kind of be like, you know what?
Well, it's why
it's going to be okay.
It's why I like Yuma Anzai, because he's not particularly flashy, but he is super fundamentally sound, and that skill set informs his matches and makes them like layered, So I don't know. What did you think of this last week in the G1, Anna? What are your big takeaways?
I mean, sorry. I
to get our old man shit off,
No, you're fine. Yeah, just what's your big takeaway with the G1 week, and what was your favorite highlight of the weekend?
I think Zack Sabre Jr. winning. Like, I didn't really watch all the matches yet. I still need to watch it. But the one thing I think like everyone kind of took of this G1 as a whole, not just the past week, is just like Takeshita. Like, please just let him be a serious wrestler. Take him away from Don Callis. And yeah, I feel like that's like the main thing that I definitely have. And I like the whole thing about Shingo. I would like to see. I don't know if he has much more to do in New Japan. I feel like he kind of reached the ceiling of what they're gonna give him to do. So I would like him to, like, people are saying in the chat as well, like, go on excursion, just wrestle in other places and go back to just doing that. Maybe he can even teach some people some stuff, like you're talking about, like he's a dying breed. He could just pass along knowledge as well. But I think this year one was pretty solid from the matches that I've seen. I still need to catch up with some. Mm-hmm. But I do get what you mean. Like, I didn't hear anyone saying anything about Shingo and Zack Sabre Jr., which is surprising considering like the quality of the two wrestlers. I didn't see a single tweet about it, like nothing at all. Yeah. So I was,
It's eye-opening to me, Anna, because I've been just having this existential feeling about this business right now. I think we're in the post-work rate. We're in the post-work rate era, Monty. We're like, because there's such a.
But they all think they're in the work rate era. But nevertheless, it's like, and I'm not even being that like Bischoff killed dickhead who's like, oh, good matches don't matter. I want to watch good matches, but like the impact that a great match has now is like not like the most important thing. I think we're now at a crossroads where all these promotions are beginning to transition to their next generation of wrestlers, and as a result, the bigger thing now is just making stars and like cementing them, and you're seeing it in every company. And so as a result, like you got a match like ZSJ and Shingo, which is like a 4.25 star match, and nobody spoke about it. So it's just something that like to just like take note of. But yeah, man, hell of a G1 for Zack Sabre Jr. And yeah, he's gonna go to Destruction, I believe it is, to challenge Tetsuya Naito. And fuck you for distracting me with that. Can I read this out loud?
What? Yes.
Never mind.
You can.
All right, so Anna in the live chat, we have like our StreamYard chat, and she told us that she said I was Googling about Shingo's monkey drama. And that's
why I was just. I'm sorry. The thing is, I'm sorry. Like, because you guys were talking about Shingo, and then I remember someone saying something about like a monkey, and I was like, oh, I never searched about that. Like, I know it was so long ago, and then I was just in shock reading the descriptions of what happened to the monkey, and then Monty like, so Anna, what do you think? Like.
And then now I'm reading that as I'm talking, and how am I supposed to like focus on what I'm even saying? But anyway, that's the G1. DSJ will be challenging Tetsuya Naito.
A long time ago,
right? ZSJ versus Naito, King of Pro Wrestling. I presume ZSJ is going to win here. Someone can let me know in the chat if Royal Quest is after this, but we know that a Royal Quest
it is
going to happen. It'll be in the UK. The New Japan are going to go back to the UK. You'd imagine
I think that's his reasoning behind it. Like, I think, yeah, like he wants to win the bout so he can walk into Royal Quest as champ.
Right. So good for ZSJ. That's probably what's going to happen, and we'll see what ends up being the Tokyo Dome main event. Elsewhere in the weekend, SmackDown happened this Friday, and abhorrent opening of the show that I won't speak.
Yeah, that was unfortunate because it was like a segment like by the graphic would have had potential. Do you know what I mean? Just like a Nia Jax title celebration with Tiffy kind of just doing her thing, but instead they kind of went too far with it, you know?
Yeah.
It was too much, man.
The less said about that, the better.
Yes.
But this show definitely had a very strong second half. We mentioned earlier Carmelo Hayes and Andrade's a very good third match. They're going to continue that rivalry. But elsewhere on the show, DIY and the Street Profits had the finals of the tag title contender tournament. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, man.
And I thought this was great. I predicted this was going to be the best Street Profits match in 2 years, and it was. This was these guys getting 3 segments on SmackDown. And I know people love to make the jokes about DIY being been there, done that, stale, black and gold is over, move on, all that stuff. But my God, they're still great. They're still a great team. For all the bullying people give Johnny Gargano, he's still a hell of a wrestler. And
I don't know why you just sending. I don't know why you just sending random shots at Joe Hulbert like this. He's not here to defend himself.
Yeah, fuck you, Joe. If you're listening to this, this match was the best match on SmackDown this year, even better than your favorite, which was AJ and Randy. I said it, Joe. This was better than AJ and Randy. So by a quarter of a star. I got it. By a quarter.
Randy was selling, brother.
It was great, and AJ was awesome. I got this slightly over. I thought this was awesome. The Street Profits are excellent. WWE finally remembered this, and they beat DIY in a terrific match. What did you think of this one, Anna?
I really liked it. Like it felt like a NXT Black and Gold kind of situation, Like it really felt like we're getting that vibe back, and it was such a good match. Both teams are amazing, and yeah, I mean, like just seeing like both teams and knowing how good they are, it makes me even more upset that for the longest time this year we had fucking Awesome Truth as champions and not those people. Like we need to get our recipes back. Like they're so good, and also like watching that match, it kind of made me think like, okay, I don't blame Motor City Machine Guns or Lucha Brothers. Like I don't blame them. Like when they want to have great tag matches, they can. They do.
Have 2 this week as well. WWE didn't know.
3 if you want to count the Creeds match, which wasn't great, but it was really cool. Like they had
pushing it a bit.
No, it wasn't great.
I love me some Creeds, and it was a good match,
but I think it was it was like really it was like notable because it was the tornado stip and like some of the things that they were doing in that. The bottom line is it was a good week for WWE Tag Wrestling between the Axiom Frazier match at NXT and then this one, which was awesome too. It's a lot has been made about American tag wrestling, and if anything, I think WWE showed like, hey, no, we could do good tag wrestling too.
Yeah, and as someone who doesn't watch WWE Weekly, like seeing B-Fab with the Street Profits, I was so confused. Like, wait, is she still there? What is she doing?
I think
it's vibing, man. She's vibing.
I think it's genuinely, and I think it's one of those things where they feel bad if they were to tell like, hey, don't like come out with them anymore. So it's like, all right, whatever,
She's not bothering
it. Yeah,
she's cut a couple of decent promos for him.
Has she?
Yeah, she has. She can talk, man. She's charismatic, but
nothing against B-Fab. I was so confused.
Like what? Yeah, so that was awesome. Kevin Owens on the show is trying to not succumb to his true nature, monster. He's
a demon.
He's a man
who, in a beast.
When a championship is in his grasp, he becomes an ugly person. And that's fine when he's facing Roman Reigns, but he doesn't want to do that to his boy Cody Rhodes. But he destroyed Grayson Waller. He's teasing bringing back the apron powerbomb. That was a big staple of Kevin Steen. He teased it, didn't do it. He saved Cody from a beatdown from Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. He thought about hitting Cody with a chair. He also thought about hitting Cody with his championship. But he handed Cody his belt, and the crowd was all collectively like, please don't do this, Kevin. And Kevin himself is like, I don't want to do this. But we all know where this is leading to, folks. At some point in this, it's going to explode, and Kevin Owens is going to go nuts and lose his mind. And it'll make for a hell of a match in Berlin. So that's the deal with Kevin Owens. And in your main event segment, Roman Reigns interrupts Solo Sikoa. He beats the dog shit out of Solo Sikoa. He beats the dog shit out of Tama Tonga. Tonga Loa wasn't there. He's selling the beatdown that he got from Roman a week ago. So Roman is whooping all these dudes' asses. And you're like, man, can this bloodline stand to this one-man juggernaut? Well, one guy can, because in a walking boot, Jacob Fatu returns, super kicks Roman Reigns, runs his big old ass right into Roman's head, beats the dog shit out of him, and he beats up Roman Reigns on one foot. He has a fucked up ankle, but that doesn't stop him because he's an animal. He destroys Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns has to sell. And it's very notable because Roman Reigns rarely lets people make him look like this, but he allowed Jacob Fatu to destroy him, which went a long way, and SmackDown ended with the bloodline standing tall thanks to Jacob. And I think it's very clear, guys, what the actual hierarchy is. The immediate story is with Solo Sikoa, but we know now that the big match for Roman before Rock is him and Jacob. What do you think? Monty still has to one up. What did you think of this, Anna?
I mean, like we said last week, it felt just like when Roman went in and he beat like them all up, it was like, yeah, this makes sense, like he should be beating them all up. Like this is just adds up. And then the second that Jacob shows up and then Jacob is beating him up, you're also like, yeah, this also makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah.
It's okay now. Now they can beat him up. Of course, Jacob is there. And okay, I'll be a bit bold. I would say they should have Jacob beating Roman. I don't think Roman has to defeat Solo. And then he has to be like, yeah, now I'm going to take on all of you. Like, Solo, you're done. And then Jacob's like, it's not done. Even if it's before the Rock match, maybe like, oh, it doesn't make sense for him to lose before the Rock match, whatever. I don't care. He has to lose to Jacob Fatu. He has to do that job.
I'll make it make sense. So this is what you do. He loses to Jacob. You can even have the bloodline get involved. And Roman's character comes to the realization that I'm not going to win this fight alone. I need my family. And that's where you enter the next story arc, which is him basically atoning for the sins of the past and his past abuse and trying to get back on the good graces of Jey Uso and Sami Zayn. That leads to War Games. That leads to the return and the reemergence of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And then you go from there. Monty, you had the month. You've had the finger up for minutes where this is going. And the Bloodline fans like to throw around cinema. Some of that does sound like cinema. What did you think of this?
Roman Reigns is just
he's
different. Awesome. No, bro. He hasn't even actually said anything on TV yet.
No words.
You don't need to, He's so good at TV and just fucking feeling off the crowd and just going out there, making everything feel as big as possible and himself feeling like a fucking god out there. And even when he's selling for Fatu, it's like he's still kind of like godlike because it's like, like he's doing this to Roman Reigns. How can anybody do this? But just cinema, as you already said, and it's just what Roman does. He's mastered it, bro. He's mastered it, and he's just another level at this sort of shit, bro. Like one of the best ever at like just TV as a whole, like character, angle, etc. Just making things feel important. And like I said, he hasn't even said a fucking word yet. Jacob Fatu, his first interaction with Roman Reigns went pretty much exactly as I would have hoped it would have if I would have fantasy booked it a month ago, So that's a very promising start. And as you already said, we've kind of seen a little bit of a hierarchy now. It's like Jacob Fatu is the real fucking problem because he is, bro. He is. Like Solo's not up to it when you got Jacob Fatu standing next to him. It's just different. No. And like I think Solo, like we can be a bit harsh on Solo sort of thing because he's just like
he's really bad.
He deserves it.
Really I don't think he's really bad. I think he's just kind of like he's just not up to it.
He's not good. Can we?
He's not good. I'm not going there. Chill out. I'm not going that far. Chill out. I'm just saying we can. I think we can just be a bit spiteful. But yeah, Roman Reigns, bro, just a different level, and Jacob Fatu, just perfect kind of impactful booking of him. Roman selling. It's almost like like back like a few years ago, like when Brock would sell for somebody, it was like, oh my god.
Yes,
this guy is going to the top, and that's what it was like with Fatu last night. No, not last night, on Friday, and it was just, I don't know, bro. No one's doing TV like Roman. It's kind of absurd at this point. Like I said, he hasn't even said a word yet. Just something else, man. What an angle.
Yeah, it was awesome. I want to also mention that when he put the Ulafala on, it felt like when Thanos put the last Infinity Stone in his gauntlet and the power through his body, and he's just like,
the euphoria on his face, bro.
Yeah, like
he was like,
just that moment.
Yeah, it was awesome. So that was a great close to SmackDown. Babyface Roman has been a success. He's literally like, the other thing is he's doing the like stuff he would do in angles like 10 years ago when people booed him. Like he's pumping up his fist, like punching and shit and doing all that stuff. But now that he has the tribal chief aesthetic, it's awesome. So Roman Reigns has been awesome. A match that I thought was pretty awesome and I didn't expect it to was Julia's last singles match in Marigold. Anna, today was Julia's last singles match in Marigold. She faced Mai Sakurai. This is going to be her last match before going to the States, but she decided that she's going to do the traditional send-off match that a lot of Japanese wrestlers do. She's going to wrestle like a bunch of people on the roster for 1 minute at a time. She invited wrestlers from other promotions, but this was her last straight-up singles match. And we talked off air about this matchup last weekend, and we're like, I don't know about Mai Sakurai. Every time I've seen her, she hasn't been like particularly impressive, but I thought she raised her level here, and I thought this was very good. I thought this was a very good match with some outside brawling, typical of Julia matches. They were in Corrigan Hall. She did the pile driver, the Cactus Jack pile driver through the table, and then you had a good closing stretch. What did you think of this one?
I think this was just like the epitome of like Julia matches, you know, it was like the most Julia match that you could have as a goodbye. She just did like all of her classics, just throwing people in chairs, just going through the crowd, doing the table spot. Like she just did all of the Julia things that she does. And in the beginning, when she chose Mai, I don't think anyone was really excited for that because she has been a bad wrestler. Let's not, no, she's not.
Sugarcoated.
She has not been good. She's 33 years old. She debuted like 4 years ago, which is for Joe, she's that super old, you know, like debuted at 29. And then like I'm so that's just old age. And she has not been great, like at any point in her career. So yeah, like I was very disappointed when they announced her, especially because everyone was expecting for the Utami match. And I'm still kind of surprised that they didn't do that yet. But yeah, like everyone is expecting the Utami match to be the last one because they saved that one for such a long time. Still has not happened. Julia's going to the United States without the match happening. So they announced Mai, everyone was a bit like unsure, but I feel like this was definitely like I was proven wrong, which is very good. I think that it was very much, like I said, very much a Julia match. She kind of like held everything together. She carried, like she set the tone for the whole match. But Mai, she did her part. Like she sold well. She had good moves. The tiger suplex that she pulled, I was like, damn, okay. Like, getting there, yeah. I feel like it was definitely like a star-making performance for Mai, and I feel like that's why Julia chose her as well because Mai's been under her wing for a few years now, like a couple of years. She always liked her. They had like a very close relationship. They're like good friends and stuff. So I feel like Julia wanted to do that for her, you know, to give her that performance, to give her that moment, and I think it was very successful on both sides. And I'm curious to see the gauntlet. I really want to see who shows up. I think that's always one of the most fun parts about those kind of matches. Just, you know, like, of course, it's 1 minute wrestling everyone, but just seeing the people that show up in the middle, I think is the most interesting part. So I'm glad that she's also doing that wasn't like the last match. I think it should be very fun to watch. But yeah, I was very positively surprised with that one.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited to see what Julia's going to do in NXT. So.
Yep. Do you know much about the young girl that that Julia called out to be in the gauntlet from Ice Ribbon?
Kasa Fujimoto. From Ice Ribbon. Yeah. I'm not terribly familiar with her. I just know that that's the person that's coming in. Is there anything you could tell us about Tsukasa Fujimoto, Anna?
I mean, not about her specifically, but just that I would be surprised if anyone from Ice Ribbon would show up. Because like Julia has her issues with Ice Ribbon, you know, so I think would be like very interesting to see like someone from Ice Ribbon in the gauntlet match. I would be surprised, and I think would be nice, but just to see that relationship because it has not been the best. But I think she will show up, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we'll get that navigated politically, but that'll be on August 25th, folks, and that will be Julia's final.
Sunday?
Yep, and that'll be and that'll be her final match in Marigold before heading off to WWE, presumably in time for No Mercy, where she probably makes her debut after Roxanne Perez's match. So we'll see how that goes. Julia leaves on a high note, and we'll try to leave on a high note ourselves because Well, maybe we'll see how you guys feel about this one. Real quick, I want to touch on the new matches added to All In because we have a tag title match official now, Monty. It's going to be the Young Bucks versus the Acclaimed versus FTR because FTR and the Acclaimed wrestled for the right to face the Bucks at Collision, and it went to a 30-minute time limit draw. This was following the Acclaimed their match against the Bucks getting a DQ on Wednesday. So it's a three-way that's added to All In and also adjusted for All In. Your trios titles match, Anna, which was going to be the Patriarchy versus the Bang Bang Gang versus the House of Black. It is now a ladder match with now a hidden fourth trio. And a lot of people are saying, who's it going to be? Is it Death Triangle? Are they coming back? Is it BCC? Who's it going to be? And I don't have any special insight, but I get the feeling it's going to be a team that maybe doesn't really exist yet. So we'll see what happens there. But Monty, what are your thoughts on the new matches for All In?
I mean, the trios tag title match, it doesn't really move me particularly, but I do hope that something wakes up in the Young Bucks' soul, considering it's in a stadium, you know. FTR, you know, they're going to put like probably an absurd amount of effort in, and the Acclaimed, you know, see what they do under the bright lights of Wembley Stadium. It's not something that particularly excites me, but I think it could be a good time, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to delusionally say that the Bucks will wake up for Wembley, and I think the FTR has too much pride for that to like just be a nothing match. So I think they'll work hard if nothing else, and we'll have like a lot of action. I'm kind of worried about the ladder match. I'm not gonna have the ladder match rant, but there's 12 people in this thing. If my math is correct, 3, 6, 9, 12 people in this ladder match. Ladder matches that have more than 8 people usually get really, really messy. What the hell is Christian Cage supposed to do in there? Like catch a diving guy? But we'll see who the trio is going to be. I'm looking forward to finding out who that's going to be. AEW tells me it'll be revealed on Wednesday. So they didn't want to tell me. They were like, fuck you and your scoops. You guys will find out today. So fair enough, fair play.
Yeah. I mean, seeing the graph for the tag title match really made me wonder, like, am I doing the right thing? I spent so much money, you know, like the ticket and then going to London, like the train and then the place to stay. And when I'm there and I'm going to spend money as well. And I don't have money, you know? So it's like, people think, I saw some people like, oh, you travel so much, you must be having a lot of money. Guys, I survive on like Carrefour sandwiches. You know, I do not have money. I work 3 jobs and I'm spending money to do this. And then I'm spending money that I don't have. And then I have to hear to a Max Caster rap live. You know, you know how depressing that is. Like that really maybe if I hadn't already paid for everything, I would probably just like cancel Stripe. But like, no, I already paid for everything. It's like I have to go. I have to make my money's worth it.
Dude, for Brian.
I'm there for Brian. I'm just doing like I'm going for Brian. I'm going for Brian. Like that's the mentality. But seeing that graphic really made me like,
yeah.
So especially because last year the All In match, FTR and Young Bucks, it did not move me. Like I didn't think it was like a good match. This year maybe they're gonna have like some fun spots and stuff, but it's really, for me, it's just crazy. Like in a company with a tag division that is so like diverse, they have so many tag teams. They had the Lucha Brothers, now they lost them, but like they have good tag teams. It just seems that the title's just stuck between the same people for like 2-3 years now, and it just keeps going like on a circle between those tag teams, you know. And I'm just really done with that as well. And the ladder match, I'm curious to see who the third one's is going to be, like who the third team's going to be. The fourth team's going to be. And I just hope Pac is involved somehow because he should be at Wembley. You know, like was he at Wembley last year? Did he have a match? I don't think so. Right?
No, he was really sick last year, if I'm not mistaken.
So he should be there in some capacity. And I would love to see him be involved in, especially in a ladder match. Like that's Pac staying. So I would love to see that, and him also getting like that, you know, that pop from his country and stuff. But yeah, the tag team match just is expected, but it just makes me sad still. Just free Anthony Bowens already, you know, like he's actually pretty good, and he can go so much like higher. Just being away from X-Caster, that last rap or promo that they had on Collision, I think, whatever it was.
Yikes!
God.
Yeah. I don't get like being a babyface and being like, haha, fuck immigration. Like it's very strange. But And I'm not even one of those people that get like offended at everything, but that was just very odd. But that's your additions to All In. I'm looking forward to the show. I don't even know why. Like, I don't even have one particular thing that I'm like blowing the roof off excited for, but I'm just looking forward to it. And I think it'll end up being a great show. So with that, let's get into the super chats and take this home, Monty.
Matt Hennessy, €60 again. Massive appreciation yet again. Appreciate the support. There isn't much WWE and AEW fans agree on, but everybody seems to agree that Jericho and Saraya both suck. What are your thoughts on Michael Aku signing with AEW? I think he's great, but there are other AEW stars I want TK to go all in on, like Garcia starts and Takeshita. Well, Oku isn't signed yet, reportedly. I think. Yeah, he's not signed, but he's probably going to be on either Cardiff this Wednesday or involved somehow on All In. But in terms of him being All Elite, that's not where we're at just yet, I don't think. So, I mean, and I agree. Like, if he is signed, if he does get signed, it's like,
I think he's going to get signed.
He's someone. Like right now, this time of year, when you've got a few contracts coming up, and it's kind of like, is that where you want to be sinking your resources into? I don't know. So
yeah, I don't see where he can really add a lot. Like, it's not that I do like him. I don't have anything against him. I think he had like some pretty solid matches, but I don't see how. Yeah, what he can actually add to the company right now. And I feel like with the signings now and like the wrestlers that you have that are not getting that spot, like the Takeshita's, like you mentioned, the Daniel Garcias and stuff, you should focus on the people you already have instead of signing more people that are just going to end up being lost again because they don't really have anything to do, or they're going to have like 1 month that they're doing really well and then just end up like lost to the mix, especially because you have wrestlers that you are there that are better than him. And also Sabre, it's Saraya. No, Sabre was Saray's NXT name.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Jericho, he doesn't have a match at All In, Jericho.
Yeah,
I have to watch him live as well.
He's facing.
He's wrestling Hawkeye now.
Yeah,
he's wrestling Hawkeye. But yeah, man. Yeah, Aku is an interesting one because like he's got some popularity because of like some of the big matches that he's had, like even just recently with MJF. That's a very notable match for him to have. The Ospreay match as well, things like that. So he's kind of been like one of the poster boys of like Rev Pro. He's been the poster boy of Rev Pro recently. So there's obviously some hype behind him. I still think he's like very raw. I don't actually think he's like very good, to be honest. I still think he's got quite a way to go. I don't think he can't get there or anything. But if I was AEW, he's someone that I'd be like, let's keep tabs on him. Not we need to get this guy in right now. Like he's nowhere near that yet, I don't think, in my opinion.
I'm not a fan, but people seem to really enjoy him, and we'll see how that turns out. He's been Tony Khan has been in the building for a lot of his highest profile matches, and I'm sure that influenced the decision.
Yeah, I'm sure it has.
Thank you, Matt, so much for the very, very, very generous super chat.
Yeah, man, you've been on form today, Matt.
Yeah.
keep it rolling for the Raw review tomorrow. Showtime Spurs, $5. Are we seeing the era of Azumi in Stardom? She's had an incredible tournament. Stardom outdrawing last year's attendance shows hate is working.
I don't think it's because of hate. Being very honest. I just think it's like the nature of like Marigold also being there, like having that competition. Because like, yeah, Stardom, they have other Joshi companies and stuff. They have like Tokyo Joshi and stuff, but I feel like with Marigold being there and like the wrestlers from Stardom is kind of making that go up as well, because Stardom is not in a position or in a place that I would say, oh, they deserve to have like a more attendance this year than last year. Definitely not. So, but I do think probably something related to that. But Azumi, she's always been great. She's also always been incredible. I would like to see her getting a title run with one of the main titles soon. She never had the white belt or the red belt, so I would love to see her doing that maybe this year or next year, but definitely soon. But yeah, she's amazing. She's definitely not even hit her peak yet, and she's already one of the best in the world. Yeah.
She caught my eye dating back to when she was doing high speed stuff years ago.
She's very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Thank you, Kel.
I definitely was one of the people that fell into the AZM trap when first coming across her. Kyle, 50 pesos. Michael Hickenbottom, if you make me wait another month for Julia, I'm sending my contracts to Tijuana and I will frame Ibu. Thoughts on Bronson? Really effective angles, right? Really effective.
Yeah, it's crazy because I was never the biggest fan of him because I thought he just wasn't.
Oh, fuck off!
Let me finish.
No, you're not getting that off, man.
I'm not. You were just a straight up hater. Like you're just a hater.
No, it's not just me.
You were like a hater.
Don't do this to me, man.
You know what was the difference? Because he would do it. He would have a good match, but you couldn't even like admit it. You know, you just like didn't want to hear it
because he wasn't.
You saw his titties on screen. You just got disgusted, and you would just like look away. You know. But here, my thing with him was he struggled to be menacing, despite that having to be his appeal, being a big guy. But these last two angles where he's just kind of killed Seth Rollins and The Miz have been excellent. Like not just good, excellent. And it looks like his new character and gimmick is going to be I write off annoying characters. So I'm all for that, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this push goes. I think the Rollins angle was a breakthrough to take him to the next level on Raw.
Yeah. I never cared about him, so.
I didn't. My introduction to him, Anna, was watching NXT and Mauro Ranallo being like, he calls himself a self-proclaimed thick boy, and I was like, all right, that's enough of that. Let me see what's going on Dynamite. Let me see what's happening on Dynamite, and I just changed.
I think this can be like an interesting use of him, and if he can get over with that, then more power to him.
Yeah, he got in the tsunami over. He killed Seth Rollins. He'll be working with a bigger player here, so yeah, it'll help him. Jumanji Hunter
$2. Have you seen any internal memo from WBD about AEW? Well, as Ibu said a few minutes ago, Dave hasn't had the best.
Yeah,
he didn't have the best week.
Yeah.
Not enough time to go into the context of that. Stephen Casson, $4.99. Appreciate it. People were crying Jacob not being hurt to save an encounter with Roman, and they end up doing it on SmackDown the next week. What really happened? Well, the thing is like, I think when Dave was like, you know, they're keeping him away from Roman for when they do it, it's going to be impactful. Because that was only like very recently, people were expecting Jacob Fatu to be kept away from Roman for a long, long time, and he was like, "No, they did it this week," and it was impactful. And I guess nothing Dave actually said was wrong in saying that he's going to be kept away from Roman until they do the angle, because they did it on Friday. But people crying about Jacob not being hurt to save an encounter with it. Yeah, well, you know, fans cry about everything, don't they? You know, so what can you do? Showdown Spurs, $5. Every time AEW does a ladder match, people are down every time AEW does a ladder match, people are down on the announcement, and it turns out good. I personally wouldn't agree that they always turn out good, but
they're usually good. But like, to me, I don't think any AEW ladder match is a top 40 match in promotion history. I'll put it to you that way. And beyond that, my issue with them, and I don't have time to get into this, but like, it's less about it's going to be a bad match, and it's more about that, like, this is just a stipulation that like changed the business when it was like in its heyday, and ladder matches do not make that impact now. Nobody talks about any ladder match at the end of the year when they talk about best matches of the year. You go back to 2001 and TLC 2 is at everybody's like top of the match of the year list. This is a thing that forwarded the medium, and if anything now, it's just a thing that people do to get a bunch of guys on the show. So yeah, I'm just tired of seeing them.
Bucks Lucha Bros I think is like a very.
It's the last special one. Yeah, that Escalera de la Muerte. Yeah, it's really special.
Yeah.
Kale, 20 pesos. Free 20 pesos. Appreciate you. Free job pay for an acclaimed match. I'm sorry, Anna.
Thank you. No, and just like hearing the news, like I didn't know Jericho's in the card as well. You know, like it just keeps going down. Now Saraya's apparently gonna have like an angle as well. And Britt Baker's wrestling is like, damn, Brian really better make it worth it, and I know he will. I know Swerve Brian's gonna be like a match of the year contender, but still. And that casino battle royal, like I still want Zack Sabre Jr. to be in the show. For me, it's just insane that it's been 2 shows in England and they did not have Zack Sabre Jr. even like in the fucking pre-show or something, you know. So I would like to see him showing up for something at least. But yeah, three jobs to pay for this. It's crazy.
Yeah. Anything else?
Hard-working woman, you know. What modern society is built on, Ibu.
Absolutely. Respect it. I love it.
All right, that's a super chats.
Don't mind. I'm gonna go watch Gunther.
Yeah, man.
He's on TV
Come from Randy in the ring currently. Appreciate everyone who's stuck with us with this overrun.
I gotta say, usually when we overrun in the Raw, I never really care. You know, like we'll do it and like Liv is in the ring, and I'm like, who cares, right? Here, I see like Randy and Gunther just staring off, having like an aura off on my TV on you, and I'm like, damn, I actually do want to do this. But this is WrestlePurists Worldwide. This was a lot of fun, guys. Hope you appreciated the show. Hopefully next week we'll be talking about All In probably. And hopefully it's an awesome show that was, right? We'll probably
I'm just going to ignore it.
Like
some TNA show.
We're just going to be talking about Rev Pro the whole show.
Right, yeah. No, we'll be talking about All In. It'll be very exciting. I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully you guys have a great time at the show. Because, Monty, you will go, and I'll make sure you're going to go. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. And tomorrow we'll be doing the Raw review. And you can expect me and Rob doing what we do best. So thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.